What up? What up? What up? Yo, I'm coming here directly in this moment, straight up, because I was surfing through YouTube and enjoying some content. Shout out to my dog, ET Lifestyle. I hope that you don't flag this. I hope you're a real one because I need to use this as a clip for what I want to say. And I'm on Team M. I'm on Team Eminem. But this tomfoolery, bro, that's what ET called it by Ebro. Dog, I got to say something about this, man. This is in reference to Ebro's top 100, well, not Ebro's, Apple Music's top 100 albums of all time. For those of you that don't know, Eminem made the list with Marshall Mathers LP. In my opinion, that is Eminem's best album. A lot of people are mad that the Eminem show didn't make it and MMLP did. To me, Marshall Mathers LP is Eminem's best album. I also love the Eminem show, but if I had to pick one to go on the top 100 greatest albums of all time, I'm picking MMLP. People are mad that him, Missy Elliott, they had Jay-Z's Blueprint over Nas's Illmatic. People got mad at this list. This list is indeed a crap show. No lie. No, there's nothing that can be done about it. And if I'm Ebro, I'm gonna do my best to try to make my case so that I don't look like a complete fool to people. But he does nothing in this situation except for make it worse. So without further ado, let's get to it. What's up, Ebro? What we talking about? What's up with that? What's the tweet saying?
See a tweet here that says, SZA higher than Eminem and Missy is wild to me as well.
Me too. Now, SZA's SOS album, I love that album. My daughter, who is 10 years old and shouldn't be listening to that album in depth, she also loves that album. I let her listen to some of the songs I edited. It is what it is. But anyway.
SZA's album is about to break Michael Jackson's long-standing record for being in for an R&B album, being in the Billboard Top 200 for consecutive months, I think.
Mm-hmm. I think.
Consecutive weeks or consecutive months, I don't know.
I think it's consecutive months.
It's about to beat it.
Who cares? We're talking about the greatest albums of all time. All time. If we're talking about all time, and he's going to get to this in a minute about recency bias and stuff like that, but if we're talking about all time, then recency bias shouldn't matter. Old head bias shouldn't matter. And truth be told, people are going to hate on Eminem, dude. It's cool to hate on Eminem. I'm surprised he even made the top 100. But to have albums like Take Care, SOS, and stuff like that over top of it, it does seem a little nuts. I'm not going to lie. Especially when you just kind of look at the list. You're like, come on, man.
Crazy.
Now, before we continue to watch...
Now, Nadeska. I love Nadeska. I do. Nadeska's awesome. Shout out to Nadeska. But you know this was some foolery. But either way, what's up, E.T.?
Ebro embarrassed himself by trying to rationalize tomfoolery from the voters. This is the record he's...
Can I just say I love how he calls it tomfoolery?
Talking about. SZA's SOS is now just 12 weeks away from becoming the longest running top 10 album by a black artist in Billboard 200 history. The record is held.
Shout out to SZA for that. That's dope. That really is. That's a cool feat.
By Michael Jackson's Thriller. So they all got it wrong on the panel. And those who know better know this is a redundant record in 2024 compared to the 80s, based on the fact that the industry has changed so much since the days of Thriller. Today, 50,000 a week gets you a top 5 position on Billboard. For comparison,
50,000 a week gets you a top position on Billboard. That's kind of wild. That is kind of wild.
Illmatic opened with 60,000 and failed to make the top 10. But back to Ebro, he kept shuffling for Apple.
I love Super Duper Fly Missy Elliott, and I love Missy Elliott. It didn't do that at the time. And Eminem, as big as Eminem has been with his singles, I don't know if his albums
No.
did those numbers.
How are you? Ebro, how are you, Ebro? How are you at Hot 97? Eminem, Marshall Mathers LP did like 1.8 million in its first week. It still outperforms SZA's SOS today. Oh my goodness. How are you who you are? And you don't know that.
Or that kind of longevity.
Yeah, none.
And I need to say, there is recent history bias in this list because you have such a young panel of people voting inside Apple Music. A lot of our editors.
It goes both ways,
Yeah.
I'm sure. So it's like, but to your point, like, how do you just bring all this together and make it make sense?
Well,
You don't. That's the answer to the question. That's the answer to the question. You don't do it. Now, we all know what these lists are for, right? These lists are simply so that it gets the people talking, about Apple. Apple knows that the people are going to hate this list, but it gets the people talking and it gets the people streaming and it gets the people to do all the things that they want them to do so that they can bring home the bacon. That's the point of these lists. It's clout. We can admit that. But beyond clout, buddy, there is no reason to make these lists. Top 100 albums of all time. What I can understand. I love lists. Don't get me wrong. I'm one of the people that loves these lists. I love when my favorite artists get the nods that they deserve. M never gets those. But I do love when artists get the nods they deserve.
I think this won't be the last time. This won't be the last time we do this.
No.
And we also have to point out that streaming didn't count towards it.
Why would it not be the last time that you do it? If it's an accurate list, why would you have to do it again? I mean, I can understand doing it again in 15 years when more and more and more albums come out. But as of right now, if that's the list and you're standing by that list, why are you already talking about doing it again?
No, this was not based on sales or streaming.
So if you caught that, while Ebro tried to rationalize SOS using Billboard chart position, they turned around and concluded that actually it is not about sales. All seconds
How about
apart,
that?
and users have been going off on social media. I refuse to believe that someone who is in the music industry would openly show that he has no idea what he's talking about. There are times when it is better to keep quiet than to make a fool of yourself, Ebro.
Facts. And Ebro, you got to eat that, buddy. I like Ebro, man. Ebro is one of my favorite people in the industry. He really is. But sometimes he does make a complete jackass out of himself. I mean, if we're going to be honest about it, that's what it is. You're making a jackass out of yourself, Ebro. If you are in hip hop and you know nothing about the milestones of the biggest hip hop artists in the world, if you don't remember, bro, you're old enough to remember. You were probably in high school during this time. And if you don't remember what Marshall Mathers LP did, dog, what are we even talking about? Why should I even listen to your hip hop takes? And I am not one of those fans that only rocks with Eminem. I love Eminem, but I love all hip hop. Hip hop is in my veins. It raised me. It made me the man that I am today. But bro, for you to just act like Eminem ain't nothing, and I'm so tired of this. I'm so tired of this. The unnecessary Eminem hate when he's the only legend in the game that gets this hate. It drives me bananas, bro. It drives me crazy.
They kept going off. Ebro is trying to tell us why Caesar is higher than Eminem and Missy Elliott because
Also, just gotta give a shout out to E.T. for calling SZA Caesar.
she was about to break MJ's record. Then he says, oh, this list isn't based on streams or sales. Seriously, are you okay, guys?
No, they're not okay, man. They know that they slipped up. And that's why Nadeska's over there quiet, like, yeah, I get it. Because Nadeska's a real one. Ebro's a real one too, man. I'm just giving Ebro a hard time. But what is the Eminem hate about, man? When did this train start? I know the train started with Revival, but why can't this train of Eminem, unnecessary Eminem hate, just stop? He is the legend. What he did with singles? Ebro. Ebro. Nobody even respects Eminem for his singles. His singles are hilarious. Like, it's like parody songs, bro. Other than Stan, other than Lose Yourself, and those are legendary songs. But the Without Me's, the My Name Is, the Real Slim Shady, We Made You, uh, bro, those don't hold a candle to Eminem's catalog. You know what he did with them albums, bro. You know what he did with them albums. And if you didn't, then why did you put him even at number 80 when we're talking about 100 of the greatest albums of all time?
And some have concluded, laughing emojis. This just shows what I thought is true. These people have no idea and no merit to comment on hip hop. No one should take them seriously. And in my
I agree. And I'm going to cut ET off right there before he flags me. I hope you don't flag me. But I agree with that. These people have no clue and no merit what you're talking about. They're just good talkers and they get paid to talk. And that's what it is. And it's cool to hate on Eminem. So this is what I want to do. I want to pull up the top 10 of this list of the greatest albums of all time. And we're just going to we're going to go from there and talk about some of the craziness behind just the top 10 that they came up with, because I'm not going through the whole 100. All right, guys. So let's just look at this top 10 right here, right? All right. This is the top 20. Top 20 is cool. Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys, The Chronic by Dr. Dre, 1989, Taylor's version by Taylor Swift, not just the regular 1989, but Taylor's version over The Chronic. That's some hip hop bias, maybe, I don't know, but cool. What's Going On by Marvin Gaye, Blue, 21, Highway 61 Revisited, The Blueprint by Jay-Z being better than The Chronic is insane. I love The Blueprint. And the Black Album is my favorite Jay-Z album, but The Blueprint I think deserves the same respect. And I believe that The Blueprint is a top 100 album of all time. OK Computer by Radiohead, Rumors, Lemonade over The Blueprint is crazy. Nevermind, that's a great album. Back to Black, Amy Winehouse. Good Kid, Mad City at number 7. Oh my Lord, bro. I love Good Kid, Mad City, but what is y'all doing? Number 7 album ever made of all time. Kendrick Lamar has a top 10 album of all time, not just talking about hip hop, but in all genres. Oh, y'all are losing it. Stevie Wonder's Songs in the Key of Life. That's a great, that deserves to be in the top 10, but over, like, right next to Good Kid, Mad City. Blonde by Frank Ocean. Purple Rain. And, well, Purple Rain might deserve to be in the top 10. But just putting it next to Frank Ocean's Blonde looks absurd. It's like the look of it is crazy. Abbey Road by the Beatles. Thriller by Mike Jackson being number 2 behind The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is stupid. Just at least flip-flop those. Why is Lauryn Hill the number 1 album of all time? The number 1 album of all time. I love that album. Oh my Lord, man. They bombed this. They bombed this list. This list is awful. Straight up. And just in other news on this beautiful Friday, we got T.I. out here talking about what he thought about the whole J. Cole backing out on Kendrick and Drake situation. And I just wanted to play that real quick and talk about T.I. for a minute. So Big Boy asked, how do you feel about J. Cole backing out, basically? Let's see what Tip says.
I feel he chose peace and tranquility.
Yeah, man. They do. And that's what I said then. And not when everything else started coming. I said, that man said it didn't sit right with my soul.
Yeah.
So there is no, oh, man, you need to get back in there. And then when you look at the long run, because this did get a little crazy.
Yeah.
That was I would have been, this is exactly what Talking about.
skin. You gotta have thick skin. You
Yeah,
gotta
man.
have thick skin. You gotta really be unfazed and unbothered.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we don't know, you know what I mean, the temperament or the sensitivity of Cole's dynamic. I don't know. You know,
Right.
because we've never seen Cole upset.
Right. And those are the
where
ones you
that-
got to be careful with.
Exactly. We don't know where that would take him.
Yeah, man.
So, so I think, that was quite mature of him.
Yeah. What did you feel when Cole?
I feel like T.I.'s dissing him, bro. In T.I.'s own little way of using words, I feel like Tip is dissing him right there. I do, man. I feel like he's dissing Cole. He's just like, look, man, I feel like he chose peace and tranquility. First of all, tranquility. Look, if Cole never would have released a diss song to Kendrick to begin with, then I wouldn't have no beef. My beef is in throwing the diss out after saying that if any MC ever even comes close to mentioning you or thinking about saying your name, you're cutting throats. But then you put the diss out, it's ill received, and you decide to get up on stage and instead of performing and stand 10 toes down on it, you apologize, back out, and you initially and eventually call Kendrick Lamar the GOAT, and you hand the crown to him in front of 200,000 people or however many people were at Dreamville. That's what you did. And that's why I can't respect it. It's not about the move and if he made the right move in the long run and looking back, even if he knew everything and he knew what Kendrick was going to do, exactly. And he knew what Drake was going to do, exactly. That changes nothing in my mind. In my mind, if you're the GOAT and you're claiming that you're the GOAT, you could have made both of them fools look like crazy idiots just by standing 10 toes on your lyricism. That's it. You could have done the lyrical exercise thing that you were trying to do without throwing any dirt, and you could have won. But you wanted to back out and apologize. And I think what Big Boy is saying right here is like, looking back, maybe it was the right thing to do. I think all Big Boy is trying to say here is like, look, in the long run, like later on down the road, you have completely obliterated it. Like you can never do the battle thing. You can't, because you threw your hands up and said it didn't sit right with your soul. So anytime you do try to get gritty or greasy with somebody, it's just always going to be thought of like, man, you know that ain't sitting right with Cole's soul. It was just a bad move. Hip hop wise, it was a bad move. As a man, I get it. You know what I mean? And I think that's where people are trying to find the common ground. Like I feel him. I do too, as a man. Like as a man, I get that. As a Christian man, I understand like turning the other cheek. I understand fully the whole concept. Technically, you did the right thing. But as a hip hop head, as a hip hop artist, and as somebody that's claiming that you're 10 toes down, you're the greatest of all time and can't nobody touch you. And then someone says, what? You ain't the greatest of all time? Come at me then. And then you come at him and you throw this silly little punch that doesn't even land. And everybody makes fun of you because you couldn't swing. And instead of getting back up and trying to aim again, you just say, you know what, man? Y'all are right, bro. He's the better fighter, bro. I don't even know what I was thinking swinging at him, man. Did y'all see him when he swung? He swung hard, didn't he, man? I don't want to fight that man, bro. It could get too dirty, man. That's what Cole did. That's why, like, in hip hop, that's not the move, even if it is the right thing to do as a man. And it's not about the entertainment aspect of it. It's just about doing what the code and law of hip hop says that you should do. And he tried to change that law and that code. And truth be told, I don't care what none of y'all say. I appreciated the Kendrick and Drake battle. I was going to react to the Drake and Kendrick back and forths, but they came out way too quick, and I was at a softball tournament. And by the end of the weekend, whenever I was able to actually do a reaction video, I was like, I think people are tired out by this point. So, yeah, dude, it is what it is. So, anyway, man, I'll see y'all next week. I'm going out of town for a softball tournament tomorrow. Like, subscribe, all that good jazz. Thank y'all for watching my channel. Thank y'all for being a part of my life. And This is that vape shop talk that I always thought about doing, but I'm just calling it something different. Thoughts of a Predicate winner. Thank y'all for the people that have subscribed. I truly appreciate y'all. I hope that y'all can help me grow. I hope that we can get this going. And I hope that y'all don't try to put me in a box, because I'm trying to do a little bit of everything. I'm trying to talk about my Jesus. I'm trying to talk about hip hop. I'm trying to talk about life. I'm trying to talk about what's going on in the world from a Christian perspective. I'm trying to do so much. And I hope that y'all don't try to limit me and put me in a box, because I'll never do it. Like, I'm always going to do, you never know what you're going to get whenever a video pops up. It's just whatever I feel in the moment that I want to talk about, that's what you're going to get. That's what it means. Like, thoughts of a Predicate winner. All my thoughts. Bleh. And for those of y'all that are wondering about my name, I actually got my name from a Tony Yayo album. The name of Tony Yayo's first album is Thoughts of a Predicate Felon. And I'm a G Unit Shady Aftermath baby, obviously. Just did a whole video about Eminem, basically. So I took that album title, which is one of my favorite album titles of all time, and I flipped it from my name, and I just put Thoughts of a Predicate winner. So yeah, that's how I got my name. Anyway, much love, much appreciation. I'm out. Y'all have a good weekend, a good Memorial Day weekend, and enjoy yourselves. Don't drink and drive. Be safe. Watch your kids. Hang out with your wives. Do what you're supposed to do, and enjoy your life. Peace. I'm out.